Hello and welcome. We are going to look at Tamil and Sanskritam through a unique lens. I've been fascinated about languages. Growing up in a Tamil speaking family in a region primarily Telugu speaking. So I had an opportunity to learn. By no means I claim expertise in any of these languages, but I had a great privilege to learn quite a few Indian languages, Sanskritam, and been exposed to quite a few foreign languages based on my travel and where I lived, whether it is Russian, Spanish, Espanol, Francais, French, Brazilian, Portuguese, and the list goes on. It's not about how many languages that I had the privilege of getting to know. Let's look at the historical lens typically one would take. That I think is very limiting. So, what I'm going to do is, based on my basic knowledge and understanding, look at Tamil and Sanskritam and say that how these two are comparing. Tamil has a concept of independent sounds called உயிரெழுத்துகள், a, a, I, U. We are not going to go through each letter. Similar concept is there in Sanskritam. Swaraha, U. The next few letters sound slightly different. In Tamil, A. In Sanskritam, I. R are kind of unique there. But there is also a set of letters. They are dependent on the independent sounds. மெய் எழுத்துகள் இக்கு, ichi, and the list goes on. And similarly, Vyanjanani in Sanskritam is you have Vargiya Vyanjanam ka, cha, ta, tha, pa. You have same concept in Tamil ka, cha, ta, tha, pa. Ik in Tamil, when joined with a, forms ka. In Sanskritam, k and a, ka. So both the languages have the knowledge of origination of sound, and that's how they classified this. Kavargaha, Kavargam, Avayar has one great advice for each of these ka, ki, kuku. She starts this very, very amazing. One should really look at it and appreciate understanding. These are really lifetime lessons. Coming back to this, we have a project called Samskrita Amritam where we are kind of preparing material for early learners to appreciate these languages. I kind of superimpose this Tamil alphabets and I find so much of similarity. And Tamil attributes the language origin to the divinity, Paramatma, Adi Bhagavan. In Tirukural, Tiruvalluvar says that Agara Mudala Eithallam Adi Bhagavan Mudatre Vulagu. Similarly, Avayar. When you look at the Sanskritam literature, Atri Mahamuni says, Akaradik Shakaranta Varnadyeh Pratipaditah Kalau Shri Venkateshakyaha Sharanam Me Umapatihi. He is saying that the divine energy really is Venkateshwara or Umapati is Shiva, and Kashyapa Muni says that it is the goddess, mother, Matruka Varna Rupini. Similarly, Saptarishis have attributed to different forms of the divinity Paramatma. But the concept here is this is considered Apaurushayam. That means it is by someone who has transcended the human state of mind in an enlightened state of mind, was able to see these divine sounds and energies, brought it for a commoner to understand, appreciate, and lead a life that will lead towards enlightenment. Panini in Sanskritam, Agasthyar in Tamil are seen as really the source of the structure of the language, or Vyakaranam, or grammar. But they both have made it simple for someone to learn this language. There is a beautiful story that narrates when Shiva played the Damaru, one side was heard by Panini and Maheshwara Sutra came out, which really formed the basis for Panini Vyakaranam. Similarly, Agatya heard other side, and he really formulated the rules or the grammar for Tamil. The source is divine, the purpose is divine, and they wanted to bring the knowledge for all of us to enjoy this and lead a life of virtues that would really help us walk in the path of self realization. Tongue twister, self realization. Internal structure of the language is very similar. Without going through that, one can look at it and say that in Tamil, im a is ma. In Sanskritam, m a is ma. There are rules to join words. Punarchi in Tamil and Sandhikaryam in Sanskritam. They really are unique, but they are similar. I just asked a AI tool, how unique, great, capable are these two languages in terms of poetic meters? You know what? It really gave something, but I know firsthand that they both have unique capability. That's why they are both musical in nature. They have musical capabilities because the poetic meter capabilities are built in. Similar capabilities I have seen in Telugu and other regional languages as well. We are debating, but not really appreciating the great epics that really teach us life lessons for individuals, families, societies, and countries. How they should conduct themselves, how they should collaborate, how they should coexist, and how they should respect the nature and the ecosystem. Any of this, I've been fortunate to have like read exposed to few of them in all the three languages that are listed here: Tamil, Sanskritam, and Telugu. That learning is really dwindling across the board. This is what we need to focus on, reviving the path to follow. There is a fourfold path, Aram, Porul, Inbam, and like similarly in Sanskritam, which is the cultural fabric that is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. It's the same. So when you say that how to lead your life, they both exactly prescribe the same kind of way of life. Ultimate purpose of life, they both talk about self-realization. There is so much beyond what you see through your sensory organs and perceptions. How you lead your life, developing and living virtues. தமிழ் மொழி மட்டுமல்ல, இது ஒரு வாழும் வழி. This is a way of life. If you just take Avayar's Atishudi, அறம் செய்ய விரும்பு, this really will tell you how one should live, lead, inspire, and enlighten themselves. In Sanskritam also, Dhruti Kshama Damosteyam Shaucham Indriya Nigraha Dhir Vidya Satyamakrodho Dashakam Dharma Lakshanam. They really talk about these virtues. How, what, how one can understand, learn, try to practice, live, inspire others. And there are really, really crisp ways of presenting these amazing life lessons and the universe and universal knowledge. They are called Kural in Tamil and Sutra form in Sanskritam. They have a lot in common. Unless you know the bodies of knowledge that these crisp tidbits have been drawn from, you cannot appreciate. So there is a structured way to learn these things in both the languages. Spirituality, Anmigam, Adhyatmikata, this is what is the underlying cultural fabric. I think which language came first? Most useless debate. What can humanity learn from these languages? For that matter, any language. Are they claiming to be the only source of knowledge? No, they have the humility, both of them. In fact, they both, for that matter, all languages say the knowledge is more than what is expressed in words. Experiential knowledge is real knowledge. Even in Vedas, they say that tadaksharam adhigamyate. The real knowledge is something beyond that can be expressed in words. So, knowledge concepts and sensory and extrasensory. Both of these languages classify the knowledge into sensory knowledge, that means knowledge that can be perceived by five senses. Indriya Grahya Vidya in Sanskritam, ஐம்புலங்களுக்கு அதனால what we can grasp is what is the sensory knowledge in Tamil. Extrasensory knowledge, அப்பாற்பட்டது, beyond this sensory knowledge, says that Tamil. Similarly, Sanskritam literature calls it Guhya Vidya. This is further classified into subtle, subtler, subtlest. So this is the experiential knowledge they both talk about. They both have immense knowledge, literature that supports sound-based therapy. One such beautiful example is that Kavacha Sahityam. Anyone who has exposure to Tamil literature knows that Kandar Shashti Kavacham. Like in Sanskritam literature, different kavachas are there. Similarly, even though there is only one most known kavacha in Tamil, that is not the only thing available. They say that to help complement your medicine treatment, these sound energies will help you to strengthen your physical and mental health. There is a big debate about three languages, Mummol Kalvi, Tribhasha Sutram. Learning more than one language, in fact, more than two languages, the research shows that it significantly helps a child gain many skills across the globe. Focus on literacy, linguistic capabilities have significantly come down over the past few decades. Any language, if you take it, English, very much included, grammar, is not taught. If you take Rabindranath Tagore or even old epics of English, hardly any one of us can understand what they're saying. Literature teaches ethics and values, and they promoted good social conduct through friendly and poetic narration. Both of them, both these languages have three different ways of narration: very crisp, rule based narration. Just like an example, right? Across the globe, cars are increasing. The speed at which they can travel is increasing. The roads are beautiful, capable. People are told to wear seat belts. That's rule based. How many are wearing based on that? So these literary works tell you a beautiful story. I was driving down this, I was with my family, and we were in this, and the law at the time didn't require a backseat passenger to wear the seat belt, and there was an immediate stop thanks to this anti-lock braking system. My braking distance increased, and the airbags came out, and the passenger in the back seat got hurt. This kind of narration, people really wake up and say, "Oh, next time I will make sure that everyone in the car wears seatbelts." Whereas if you look at that, may not sink in for few. And then poetic narration. Rabindranath Tagore, a noble art, has a beautiful poem called My Friend. A friend is waiting for another friend on a stormy night. Each day on our roads and nights is a stormy night. This really reflects the emotion of someone waiting for a friend, driving down to see him or her to be safe. I have no sleep tonight. Ever and again, I open my door and look out on the darkness, my friend. I can see nothing before me. I wonder where lies thy path. This kind of an emotion really sinks in. That's why literature is very important. Language is important. Living in North America, snow is a fascination for us because we have to live with it. It is told that different native languages have tens of words to describe snow because they know it. They know the snow. For those who are not familiar with snow, they said, "Oh, they're all the same." They're No, they're not the same. I ran into an interesting scenario in a grocery once, and then a small child, was calling daddy in Tamil, Appa. And I said that I didn't bring my child. Who is calling me? When I looked, the profile didn't quite fit a typical Tamil child. Then I came to know that Korean language, at least South Korean language, has 500, close to 500 Tamil words. Exactly, they mean the same. Amma, Appa, Nan, Illai, Panni, Pandri. I said that Chat GPT says that here are some coincidental phonetic similarities. I'm not sure how coincidental these are, but I'm just saying that I'm not debating which came from where. I just did further research, and then, like, ChatGPT says that 27 out of 30 letters in Tamil are shared with Sanskrit, and 3 out of 30 are 10% unique to Tamil. So 90-10 similarity. I'd say that, you can just look through this, you can do your own research. What are we trying to do in conclusion is Tamil and Sanskrit, they have a lot in common. Letters affinity, structural affinity, cultural affinity, affinity in what they teach. They both have their uniqueness and complement each other. Take up the study and enjoy instead of debating. Spread the knowledge and culture of continuous lifelong learning and not this divisive mindset. We are here to learn. The learning is strongly reinforced when you take the help of a language. Please learn as many languages as you can. Complement it. Start with your mother tongue. Primary language is very important, but there is so much of literature that goes back thousands of years that are there in both Sanskritam and Tamil, which I have personally experienced. I encourage all of you to look into it and take up. Hope you liked it. Please share your thoughts and comments. Thank you.